Hi, my name's Frank Healy, and I am a licensed professional counselor, which is very similar to a psychologist in the state of New Jersey. And I'm also one of fewer than 20 people in the world who have been classified as having highly superior autobiographical memory. What that means is I remember every day of my life beyond a certain age. Now, for me, I started very young with this. I was 5 years old and homesick from kindergarten for a week. And my uncle had given me this calendar of the year. And while I did have toys, I'll tell you, but I was too sick to even be up playing with them. So I looked at each calendar page, and I, I would I would associate with that date what would be on primetime TV. I'd create a little picture and imagine it in the box, as well as play the tune of the coming on song. Back in 1966, it was Batman, the Green Hornet, Flipper, some shows, so that by the end of the week I had the entire year, 1966, memorized. Then as the years went by, I just made mental notes of what date it was, when, with personal experiences, including everyday stuff like something that would happen in school. And I also did if I heard any news, and I'd memorize the weather each day, so that I first realized it was unusual. Actually, a few months after I started memorizing, I was telling this man about how on August 4th, my dad took us out to the bay in this resort community, Sea Isle City, New Jersey, and we were rowing a boat. And he said, not everybody can do that. I can't tell you what I did on August 4th. So I thought, this is unusual. I have a special gift. And so that was a Saturday, and that was also the day that here in the United States of America we had a presidential inauguration. George W. Bush took over from Bill Clinton. And I remember I was at my home in Ocean City, New Jersey, and it was a little warm for January and rainy. But despite the rain, some friends and I went to the boardwalk after we watched the inauguration. That was a Friday, and that was also a day that we switched presidents here in the U.S. President Richard M. Nixon resigned at noon, and then Gerald Ford took over. And he had resigned over the Watergate scandal. And I remember I was at a summer camp in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, Resaca Falls, and the only news we got was from somebody's radio. And it started out as a sunny day, then it rained all afternoon. And I remember the next day, Saturday, August 10th, was a sunny day, and when I got home from camp, my parents had saved me all the newspaper clippings about the resignation and subsequent inauguration. Well, one way that it's helped me is in my profession. I'm a counselor, so if I remember everything about my clients. If I didn't legally have to take notes, I wouldn't. And it's helped me where if I get a client who maybe stops therapy for a year or two and then they return, I'm instantly able to remember everything about them, their birth date, their issues. It's also good for human relations, public relations. Like when I meet somebody who doesn't know I can do this, and then I maybe encounter them again a few months later, they're flattered that I remember so much about them. Well, the only disadvantage I had is being able to remember everything episodic in my life, every incident. I remember all the bad stuff too. And so and that was a disadvantage for a lot of years. Like I'd remember some negative things with as much intensity, like breakups with girlfriends and stuff, as if with as much emotional intensity and detail as if they were happening right now. I've learned, since I am a counselor, I use some of the techniques I help my clients with to not be so emotional about that, and I've learned to control my mind to dwell on the positives rather than the negatives. And I use the negatives as life lessons. So I've turned it into a very positive thing. Well, I'm not an obsessive neat freak like a lot of people who have obsessive compulsive disorder. One way I am a little is I'm somewhat germ phobic. My wife kids me all the time that when we go to a restaurant, as soon as we finish placing our order, I'll go right to the restroom to wash because I don't want to be touching anything dirty. So, but that's really the only way that I'm obsessive compulsive. I'm not really tormented by those thoughts. But so overall, I would say having this special memory is about 95% positive and only 5% negative, and I'm always working on making it better.